inspire, empower. Grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch. No, real women don't. 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 Real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Today, I want to do a little something different. I want to help you tap into your inner strength. I want to talk about mindset. And I know a lot of you would like to believe that there is this new thing out there that if you could just get access to this quick step program that you can get your mindset and get it right and bam, you would be this rock solid, confident individual. And I really want to talk to you about who you are, what you've done with your life, and how there really isn't a secret hack. You just need to learn how to tap into your inner being and what you're capable of. It's so easy to tell someone to have someone tell you to quote a mantra, journal something out, meditate, and all of those things are great. But I want you to take the time to think about what is that thing that you've accomplished. And yes, it could be something on a personal level because the things that you're trying to accomplish in your business, there's a direct correlation to who you are personally. You know, who you are personally and professionally, they are the same thing. They just manifest in different ways because of the restrictions or whatever constraints are going on or the lack thereof. Whatever you have going on, that's what's going to determine what shows up. And so today I just want to be real laid back and chill and share a personal story with you from something in my past. And it's something that I reflect on every once in a while to remind me about why the word impossible should be removed from the dictionary. Now, I know a lot of us say, it really stands for I'm possible. I've done that one too myself. But the bottom line is the word impossible, it really just doesn't have a place in my vocabulary, and it should not have a place in yours. And so I want to share something with you. My first daughter, I had her when I was 19. 19-year-old young lady going to college. I was at Forest Park Community College in my city that I grew up in, and I was doing everything that I could. I was braiding hair, did a college work study job, going to school. I'm going to get that degree. I had high hopes for my future, and I had this little putt-putt. I had a little putt-putt, and unfortunately, it broke down. And then I got another putt-putt, and unfortunately, it wouldn't be long before that one broke down too. And St. Louis is one of those cities where you get to experience summer, winter, spring, and fall. You get the ice, the snow, the winds, the dry climate, all of the above. And it was a hard task having a child, catching the bus, getting her to daycare, going to the grocery store, doing all of these different things without having a without having reliable transportation. I decided that I was going to get me a new car. I was like, oh, having a used car is for the birds. I need to get me a new car so that I don't have to worry about it breaking down. I want something that's reliable so that I can get where I'm going. Now, let me go ahead and really set this story up for you. This is back in 1995. Ooh, yes, I know I have told all of my wonderful age, and you know what? That's okay. I'm cool with that. But back in 1995, I want to paint a picture for you. First of all, in 1995, you needed to have been on your job for about 2 years. Getting your credit check to get a vehicle, it was not this thing that they have now with these buy here, pay here lots come in with 30 days worth of income or a couple months worth of, check stubs or bank account statements. It was, wait a minute, how long have you been at your address? Oh, okay, less than a year. You're a risk. How long have you been on your job? Less than 2. You're a risk. How old are you? And you don't have at least $1,000 down on your vehicle. You're a risk. Getting rejected for vehicles was it. You pretty much anticipated getting a rejection unless you fit the criteria. Well, the criteria didn't matter to me, and I knew what I had heard, but I had made up my mind. Mind you, this was in May, that I was going to get me a new vehicle by the end of the summer. And I did not have a traditional job. I started braiding hair when I was a sophomore in high school, and that was all that I did. Well, that wasn't going to work. And back then, it was really cash on hand. I didn't know very much about filing taxes or doing that stuff. I was just, quote unquote, living the life with what I had done. And when I told people I was going to do this, of course, everybody thought that I was crazy, right? But it didn't make a difference because I was so freaking laser focused on what I wanted. I was like, I don't care whether people think this is going to work or not. I'm going to figure this out. And what I did is I went crazy. I went crazy filling out job applications. Let me also rewind for my younger audience that happens to listen to me. There was not a thing called the internet. What you did is you went to each job and you filled out their application. The best you could potentially do was go somewhere and pay to fax a copy of your resume. But back in the day when you wanted to get a job, you had to go to that place and actually fill out an application to get the job. You did not have this quick wham, bam, thank you, ma'am type of stuff going on. Well, in the month of May, I went crazy and filled out for every job that you could possibly imagine. And you want to know what happened? I found one. I got a job working for GC Services. I did collections for MCI, and I started the first week in June. As soon as I got that first check, I was like, set it to the side. Because remind you, I'm still doing hair too. It's just that I'm doing it in the evenings when I'm getting off of work. It was crazy because I also lived in an area where the bus routes didn't run early. So for any of you that have used public transportation, in the inner cities, the buses might start anywhere 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. But when you're in the outer county areas, they were talking about 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning. And I had to be at work for training the first week at 6:30, the second week at 7:30, which meant that I had to get up and walk a couple of miles to get into the area to get on the Metro Link to be able to catch the bus to drop my daughter off at daycare and get to work on time. I hope that this story is getting, oh God, more and more real to you by the moment of how many trials I was facing, all the obstacles, how all the chips were stacked against me. But nevertheless, I was going hard for what I wanted. And after I got that first month and I had a little bit of money for a down payment, every dealership was like, no, ma'am, you're going to need a cosigner. You're going to need a cosigner. And I asked everybody. And here it is. I had been living on my own for a year. I hadn't asked for any assistance with taking care of my daughter. I had been very responsible. I was still going to school. And I just knew that my family was going to support me in this decision. But I got my credit is bad. I'm not going to co-sign for you. And my heart was completely broken. But it didn't make a difference. I kept going to work and I just had myself in this zone of I'm going to get this car. And July passed with no luck. And at the beginning of August, I'll never forget, my Aunt Leanie called me. And she called me and she was like, "Hey, August, how's that thing going with trying to get a car?" And when I was like, "Yeah, I'm trying. It isn't exactly working out the way I thought it would. But that's okay because I'm going to keep going." I'll never forget her saying to me, "You know what? I've always admired how when you put your mind to something, you don't quit. You go after what you want. And I'm going to help you. I'm going to co-sign for your vehicle. You just have to go through the dealership that I go through." And in 1995, your girl right here was so proud of herself because bought my first brand new car. And I'm sorry, not 1995, 1997. I hadn't, I think I got my years. I stated them wrong. But anyway, no, Lord, I can't even remember the year. I got to get that together. But nevertheless, I bought a brand new car. I bought my first Dodge Neon. Yeah, it was in 1997. And I was so shocked that it happened the way that it did, but I was persistent. Now, what does this story mean for me? For me personally, it means that when I'm laser focused on what I want, I'm going to get it no matter what. And it means that somebody's always watching me and believing right along with me. And I never know where my help is going to come from, but everything is always going to work out right just in time. But it shows me that I'm tenacious, that I'm a go-getter, that I'm relentless, that I won't stop at anything for what I want, that I'm a believer, that I'm a hard worker, and that I'll do whatever it takes to get the desires of my heart. And sometimes in business, just real talk, no matter how many levels of success how far I make it climbing up that ladder, that doesn't mean that it doesn't get scary sometimes. That doesn't mean that it doesn't get uncomfortable. And it doesn't mean that every once in a while, some form of doubt does not try to creep up in my head and let me know that, you've reached your point. August, you can't go any further than that. And that's when I have to remember stories like the one I just told you, where it's like, no, sweetie, you have always went after the things that have been considered impossible and achieved your goals. And I want you guys to do that same thing. Hone that one thing that even though you were scared to death, you were like, but I got to get this. I got to get this. I've got to transfer this from this position to this position. I've got to get this job. I got to get away from this company. I've got to get out of this relationship. I've got to do whatever. Those characteristics, the tenacity, the persistence, the faith, the belief, the hard work ethic, the commitment, those characteristics are the embodiment of who you are. And that's what I want you to hold on to. So today I really just wanted to stop by here and tell you that you needed to be reminded of who you are. Now, is there specific mindset work that I do to help pull this out on a deeper level for someone that takes it beyond an actual memory? Absolutely. Yes, it is. But just at the simplistic level, this right here alone is enough for you to be like, wait a minute, I am hot shit. I really, really can do this. So whatever goals you've got set, even if you haven't reached them yet, and you've gotten quite a few no's like me, and you haven't gotten help from where you thought you would get help from, and you haven't received the kind of support that you thought that you would receive from specific people, I want you to go ahead and stand up straight, head up, chest up, and walk like the proud woman that you are, and realize that no matter what, as long as you keep the goal before you, it is actually going to come to pass. And that's it. I'd love to hear from you guys with, your thoughts and how you're feeling. And if you're having any issues at all with getting past this, then let's talk. I have a free challenge, and it's called the Uplevel Your Boss Mindset Challenge. And I welcome you to go to the website and log in. Go to the Real Women Don't Bitch Podcast.com website. Go ahead and check it out, because your mind is going to do more for your success than anything else. All right. So this is your girl, August Crenshaw. I'm outie. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you.